There are thousands of species of algae, and you never know which one you have. You may find an algae in your tank you've never seen before. That would not be unusual. But it doesn't mean anything is wrong. It doesn't. Algae really is your best friend. Now, I'll admit, I will be the first to admit, there are some mighty bad algae out there. There is one particular class of algae that are just 100% no good bums that we just need to be done with. But most algae are pretty benign. The only problem is sometimes they can just grow and grow and grow and grow and take over an aquarium. We're going to talk about some of those, some of the different types there are, and what to do about them. Well, hello. Come right on in. You're at Father Fish. It's important to know the difference between good algae and bad algae. Most algae is good algae. Very little is not. The primary class of algae that we run across in our aquarium are the green algae. There are, 1,000 or more species of green algae, and most of them can only be distinguished from each other through highly technical microscopic means. So we'll just kind of cover them in terms of their appearance because that's really the easiest way to deal with them. Many of us have experienced, it's a film, a very thin film algae. You've probably seen this, and it's probably bothered you, and it really should not bother you. It is highly beneficial. It is primarily lipids. If you know anything about lipids, they're a food source. They're in fact raised as food for shrimp. So shrimp benefit from it, snails, ostracods. They all eat this light green scum that's very thin and it's just on the surface. It does not block oxygen exchange. It probably does more to allow it. It's not something you need to worry about if you see it. You can be a little grateful because it's going to provide a meal for your snails, perhaps shrimp, although shrimp have a hard time getting to the surface. You need plants that grow up to the surface so they can climb up the plants to get to it. Another one we run into all the time is green water. Green water is wonderful. I don't think you could have a healthier tank than one that is pea soup. Now, granted, you won't be able to see in it, and you won't have any idea what's in the tank, but it will be healthy. Obviously, if you have green algae, you need something that's going to eat it. The best way to deal with that is with Daphnia. Put a load of Daphnia in there. Even if you have fish, the Daphnia will not be seen by the fish until they've got the green water pretty well cleaned up, thereby exposing themselves. They should have left well enough alone. Another one we commonly encounter is the spot algae, and that attaches itself to hardscape as a single cell, and then it grows as a colony. It gets on glass, and it's frankly a pain in the butt. But I only scrape it off the front glass. I let it grow on the other sides. It is a healthy algae. By that I mean it's not one that's toxic, and it does provide nutrients to some of the resident of the aquarium. So if you have spot algae growing on hardscape, leave it alone. It's not causing any problems. It will not cause problems, and it will provide a food source for a wide range of microscopic and invertebrate types of animals like shrimp and snails. If you see a few spots of algae, really don't worry about it. It's providing nutrition for something. If it begins to take over, then you need to deal with it. The exception, I believe, is the cyanobacteria, and I think they are always undesirable. There is a gelatinous material, goes by a lot of different names. Witch's jelly is one of them. It's usually green matted, bubbly, looks like jello, kind of feels like it too. It's sort of slimy. It doesn't attach. It will grow on the bottom on substrate or on hardscape, but it doesn't bite into it. It doesn't attach. So it's pretty easy to remove. I take it out with a net. It is a cyanobacteria, and it's the one we absolutely do not want in our tank. So when you see it, you need to get rid of it. There are medications that work pretty well. You can use treatments to get rid of it. I recommend you simply lower the nitrate level, reduce nutrients. You can try scooping out as much as you can and then putting a new layer of sand on top. Sometimes that's all it takes to get rid of it. If it comes back, just stay with it. It will clear up in a matter of a month at most. If it's very persistent, you'll get rid of it if you persist against it easily in a month, probably in a week or two. Goes by the name of Nostoc, Nostoc. Nasty stuff. You really don't want it in your tank. When you see it, work on finding ways to get rid of it. All of the cyanoalgaes are troublemakers. However, they are soft, typically mats, easily removed. So you don't need to panic about them. You just need to be disciplined about getting them out of the tank. There are blue or blue-green algae that occur occasionally. Usually they are a function of low light. They either are growing on the bottom or in a shaded area or growing in low light. And that's specifically what they are. Their chromatophores have been affected by the lack of adequate light, and it's turned blue or blue-green. Usually it's a green algae, and typically not one that's problematic. Again, with that kind of algae, you just don't want it taking over. So if it gets to the point where it's becoming a problem, then you need to do some gardening. Get in there and weed it out. Treat it as a weed. It's going to come back a little, but you'll be able to keep up with it really very easily. So those are the primary ones. I can't really think of another that's a problem. The most common one we have is the matting green algae. I was in a home recently of a friend who's setting up a fish room with a number of tanks that have been languishing for some time, several of which were loaded with algae, different kinds of algae. One of the first things we did was take a net out of a tank, and the net was covered in a dark green, shiny, silvery algae that came out kind of in sheets, sort of spongy. It's referred to as slippery algae. It's very dense. It does not grow in strands so much as it's fibrous. So it kind of grows in mats. And the mats are so dense, fish can't get through them. It's impossible. So they're a blocking algae. As such, it's one that we really don't want. There are snails that will eat it. Apple snails will eat it, but then apple snails will eat anything. So you don't want to depend on them. So the matting green algae, while they are not toxic, they are not desirable. It's an algae that does not attach to anything, so it's very simple to remove it. You just pick it up and it all comes right out. A common algae that we have all run across is old man's beard. Now, it's actually one of those blue-green algae. It's really not black. It's really a deep blue. It's a green algae that has turned blue because it's in a darkened area, growing in a place that does not have adequate light. That's how it gets its color. It's a chromatophore problem. It is not of itself a problem. When it grows on plants, it will typically grow on the edge of Java fern leaves, for example, but only the old leaves that are dying. It will not grow on new leaves. There are some fish that eat it. Clown loaches love it. I don't know a snail that eats it. Not a snail I'm willing to have in my tank anyway. Old man's beard. It is a function of excess nitrates. I know I've done stories about how nitrates are not toxic, and they're not. They are food. But when they get real high, what happens is opportunistic algae and other kinds of plants will swarm in on them. It'll come in as a single cell through the air. And because that nitrate level is so high, the nutrient level is so high, it'll find a home, it'll begin feeding, it'll multiply, and it'll grow. That's why it's there. It's controlling nitrates. Moving on, we're talking about algae, not nitrates. The link is obvious, though, isn't it? The one that is most relentless is hairgrass. And if you've ever had hairgrass, you know exactly what I mean. You got one little thread of hairgrass, and it becomes a 5-mile long thread of hairgrass, which on the one hand makes it very easy to deal with. You just pick it up. I mean, it's all attached. You pick it up and it comes out. You may have a little breakage. You may find a few little pieces floating around. Just leave them. In a week or so, there'll be a clump. You can take the clump out. I like to get rid of it because it does have a tendency to very quickly form a clump and create a blocked area in the tank. It also will suffocate plants. There's one in particular that always kind of interests me. I've had people ask me about it. It's called golden algae, and it's a golden hue, golden toward red. It's somewhere in that spectrum. Very pretty. It's a matting algae, a floating algae. You find it floating on ponds more commonly. Rarely do you find it in a fish tank, but it comes up in the context of golden algae eaters who do not, to the best of my knowledge, eat golden algae. More's the pity. There's another one that we don't see often, but it's really kind of fascinating. And it does show up occasionally in fish tanks. It's referred to as bird bath algae. It's an orange slime algae that grows on the bottom. No, it's not a cyano. It's actually an algae. It's one that is farmed in very large farms. Now, it's used as an antioxidant. It's cultivated for pharmaceuticals, for cosmetics, for foods, for paint color, or other kinds of coloring additives. It is the red in salmon. It is the red in flamingos. And frankly, it's the red in many of our fish that have red. Referred to as bird bath algae, it's a red algae. It's typically voraciously eaten. It's highly nutritious and highly desirable, so it's rare to find it because it can't gain a foothold. But if you have the opportunity to raise it in a separate container, if you have a chance to raise it, do so, and then you can feed it to your fish and they will love you even more for it. All right, so that's it about algae. Algae is your friend. Algae is not an enemy. There are very few algae that are really problematic, and they're all easy to deal with. None are really troublesome. If you're a persistent gardener, you will never have a problem with algae, and you will probably have half a dozen types growing happily in various corners of your tank. So there you have it, the story of algae. Love you all. Oh, I should mention a special thanks to everyone who has been sending us Congratulations. We reached 50,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. Actually, today, the day I'm recording this, it'll be out in a day or two. We have just reached a milestone, and it's a rather important one. And we're very proud and very happy and very excited about what the future holds because we're trying to get better and better at this. I hope it shows. I hope you appreciate our efforts. If you do, please click the like. And if you have signed up but have not rung the bell, do so. That will ensure that you get notification when we make a new video. Love you all. Bye for now.